Yeah, we can just make fun of it. Okay.
If I told you a story and I said, once there was a little boy who lived in a town, but then the town burned down. It's like, okay, great. But if I tell you a story and say, oh, once there was a young boy who lived in a town and this town meant everything to him. He grew up in the town, his mother lived in the town, his father lived in the town, and all of his friends around the neighbourhood often came to play with him in the town. And there was one part of the town, his favourite part, which was the park. And every Sunday morning he'd go to the park and he'd play with the ball and play with his friends in the ball. And one morning he went to the park, a day like any other, and he found that the park was gone. It's like, now it's interesting, right? Because you're invested in the character. You think, oh, I know this person a bit more. So it's important with harmony to set an expectation and then to defy the expectation. This is some of the most magical parts of music for me is when you say, okay, I'm going to go here, and then you go somewhere else, because that's what makes all the best stories, right? Is this idea of a narrative and being considerate when you tell the story and taking your time to say a part of the story and then take that listener on a journey. And the wonderful thing about harmony is that you don't have to say it in words. You can just feel it, So I don't have to say, there was a boy, there's a boy, I don't have to sing it like that. All I need to do is have the boy E flat, right? And I can tell the same story. Motion and momentum. So this chord here, which is D flat sus, where would D flat sus want to go? Any ideas? F sharp, or I'd say D, maybe a G flat. So then there's an expectation, to go there. And so with that expectation, maybe I can define that a bit. So your ear goes. So all these different ways of arriving in places is so important to get to know them. And the way I learned about harmony was just literally by exploring it. I listened to everything I could find, and I used my imagination that loved stories and loved people and loved things and loved textures and all these kinds of things. And it's the same mind that I use for harmony. There's no difference. It's not like, oh well, harmony. I go to school and I learn about harmony in a book. And then now I know how to do harmony, because if someone goes, it's like, oh, okay, I know about this, like the language, and I can play that over with chord changes. For me, it's the reason why harmony is wonderful is because there's so much detail, in all of the little details.